brother.
Yes?
I am Leonardo de Toledo. What's your name?
I'm Gottfried of Trentino.
Were you hiding yourself?
Ooh, me?
That's the impression one gets. But it could also be that the columns of this building aren't as stable as they look. And that's why it needs a special support.
I was just resting a bit. Yes, that's right.
He's lying, Master. He wasn't resting.
Bruno! I beg you to forgive the boy. He's the new novice at your order. With time, I hope he achieves the stature all the other brothers at the Abbey have reached.
At the moment, the only stature he's achieved is with the size of his tongue.
It seems like you're a bit nervous.
Of course! You scared me half to death.
I'm sorry, brother. It wasn't my intention to startle you. Are you all right again?
Yes, nothing happened.
Are you the librarian?
I'm not the librarian, just his assistant. The brother who takes care of the library is Marcello, the one over there. He can help you with anything you want. As you can see, I have a lot to do right now.
Where can I get red ink?
Red ink? Oh, in the scriptorium, a second floor.
Thank you. It seems I will have to pull out all the stops in order to get into the scriptorium. I'm sorry to have bothered you.
Don't mention it, but if you'll excuse me now, brother, I have a lot to do.
It's the librarian's assistant, Brother Gottfried.
What? Have you solved the mystery already?
Mystery? I thought Anselmo's death was an accident.
Well, yes, but are you sure?
If that were the case, then I wouldn't have to investigate any further. Don't you agree?
That sounds logical.
But now to our matter at hand. May I ask you a few questions?
All right, but be brief.
Tell me about Anselmo.
Anselmo was a great monk. I wish I could have gotten to really know him.
Really know him?
Yes, all I mean is, how should I put it? I didn't know him well. He was very reserved, but there's no excuse for the lack of respect that the other brothers treated him with.
As I see, he wasn't very popular.
No, don't get me wrong. Anselmo was a well-read man and very intelligent. He fit perfectly into the Abbey, except that he wasn't very likable, and that irritated the others a lot. But that wasn't the reason why he was killed, was it?
Ah, so you believe that Anselmo was murdered?
No. What do you mean by that? I don't know, but that's why you're here, isn't it?
I'm here to cast light on the truth, whatever that may be. Do you think that harmony reigns among the brothers?
We all try to do our work the best we can.
I don't doubt that, and that's not why I'm asking either.
Then what do you mean?
I don't know. Did the brothers argue? Any particular incident?
Nothing to speak of. The usual, I'd say. A small complaint to the cook when the soup was served cold. A slight reprimand from Marcello when I was late with work.
I don't know. Could someone have a motive to carry out a dispute like that to the bitter end?
No! For heaven's sake, definitely not. This place of peace, our relationships are supposed to be based on mutual respect and practicing the gospel of our Lord.
Supposed to be? Is that perhaps not the case at all?
I didn't say that. I was referring to... Oh, well, you know what I mean.
According to what I've heard, you were one of the brothers who held the censer when Anselmo died.
Regretfully, yes. I had the misfortune to be there. A horrible sight. His body crushed by the gift from the abbot of San Nicodemo. His blood everywhere. His...
Spare yourself the details, brother. Just because I didn't see the body doesn't mean that I don't know what the fall of a large censer can do to a person. There. Do you believe that the censer crashing down was an accident?
I don't know. Nicholas, Igilio and I were the only ones holding the censer. Oh!
What's happened?
The thought just occurred to me that perhaps it was all our fault.
In what way?
Oh, maybe Anselmo would still be alive if we had used a stronger rope. Oh, my God!
The abbot was there with Anselmo, wasn't he?
Oh, yes.
Could you hear what they were talking about?
I'm not sure, but if I remember correctly, I think that Anselmo told the abbot about the lights in the library.
Lights? What are you talking about?
Oh, they're there! You've just arrived, so you're not up to date on the rumors that have been circulating recently about the library here.
So that's what this is about. The abbot mentioned something to that effect, but he didn't want to go into detail.
I tell you, but I don't think the boy should hear anything about it.
And why not?
Well, what I'm going to say might give him nightmares.
He sleeps with me. I'll run the risk.
You know, it was only recently that from here you could see lights coming out of the library at night. Oh, and not only that, odd sounds were heard too.
Who saw them?
All you have to do is ask. Oh, yes, many claim to have seen the lights. Anselmo was one of them. You know who. He was the gatekeeper. That's why he was the last to go to bed.
Do you have some kind of theory about this?
Oh, and now the eerie part comes. I wanted to avoid having the child hear it. Many years ago, the librarian was found dead outside the edificium. Everything pointed to suicide, and as you yourself know, the Lord takes none to him who have forfeited the divine gift of life, which is why the librarian wasn't buried in the cemetery.
What does that have to do with the strange lights?
Don't you understand? It could be that it was the librarian's heartfelt wish to rest among his brothers in the cemetery. Therefore, his spirit shall wander eternally because he feels he has the right to rest near his brothers.
One moment. Are you telling me that a phantom is haunting the library?
Of course. What else could all that howling be that no one seems able to explain?
The howling of a soul that finds no peace.
Yes!
In that case, what do the lights mean?
That's the spirit's glowing aura.
Seriously, brother, do you truly believe what you're saying?
I don't know what I'm supposed to say to that, but I do believe there's some truth behind it. Lots of us do.
I have no more questions. That's all I wanted to know. For the moment. Go on. You're doing excellent work.
Thank you.
I've noticed that the brothers concentrate very hard on their work. They barely take a break. The librarian must be rather strict with them. Good day, brother.
Leonardo de Toledo, I presume.
And rightly.
Your reputation precedes you. I hope it's justified.
I hope so too. And you are?
Umberto from Lyon. At your service.
Are you busy?
It was long enough. I have a great deal to translate.
Oh, you're the translator.
You're as quick as a whip, brother. The Abbey's very lucky to have you, no doubt about that.
Which languages have you mastered?
Hebrew, Arabic, Aramaic, Coptic, Ancient Greek. Shall I continue?
No need for that. The list was impressive enough. The Abbey's very lucky to have you. The death of Brother Anselmo was truly calamitous.
A sad thing, yes.
Do you know anything about it?
A censer crushed him. What else is there to know?
His death could be the result of something suspicious.
I heard about that.
And what's your opinion?
My father died shortly after my birth when he was struck by lightning. It wasn't even stormy outside. That is strange. Not the fraying of a rope when it's supporting an enormous weight like that of a 200-pound censer. Accidents do happen.
Perhaps the devil had his hand in it.
The devil, eh? Is that the conclusion your investigation has reached?
It's the abbot's theory.
The abbots, eh?
What can you tell me about Anselmo?
Is it really necessary to talk about him? Can't we just let him rest in peace?
I'd just like to hear your opinion about him.
You're looking for suspects, I presume?
I'm hoping more not to find any.
All right. Anselmo. He was a good monk, a worker. Only he had this distinct arrogance about him. But we didn't say it to his face, and even less so now that he's dead, right? He was one more part of this abbey and contributed to the community with his work, like all of us, I presume.
Thank you for your information.
And well, if you say so. Anything else?
I've heard there are phantoms in the library.
Yes, and imps and goblins too. We don't have any more room left.
What shall I say? That's what the rumours are.
You have a reputation for sagacity, brother. You shouldn't confuse a rumour with a fact.
In other words, you don't believe that a restless soul is roaming aimlessly about this building.
Only the ignorant confuse the creaking of wood with the cries of a dying man, and only the simple-minded see spectres in the reflections of the moon. You're neither one nor the other. I ask you to please stop pursuing that line of thought.
I'll let you work in peace.
Goodbye.
It's merely a reproduction of Nuestra Señora de la Natividad.
Would you mind letting me work? I can't get a thing done with you tramping around here.
Welcome, brother. Are you a copyist?
No, I'm not a copyist.
That's what I thought. I beg you to come down from there. The scriptorium is exclusively for the copyists of our order.
You must be the librarian.
That's true. I am Brother Marcello, the librarian. You must be Brother Leonardo, the one who's not a copyist.
I must go into the scriptorium. I've been given a special mission.
I've been instructed regarding your mission, but no monk has died in my library, and that's because it's not provided for in the rules.
Rules? What rules?
The rules free us from always having to make the right decision. The rule states it clearly, so no one, except for the copyist of the order, is going to enter the scriptorium as long as I'm the librarian here.
Can't you make an exception for me?
That would be unpermissible. It would be against the rules. I'm sorry, brother, but I believe I put it clearly. I beg you to come down from there. The scriptorium is exclusively for the copyists of our order.
Ah, a copyist. Remember how you had me write down? I must use my brain to think once. I had to write it down 100 times.
Tell me, Brother Marcello, what requirements must my novice fulfill to be accepted as an apprentice copyist?
Your novice? Are you talking about this novice?
Yes, he belongs to your order. Indeed, that's the very reason his father, the Count of Capra Negra, entrusted him to me. His dream is to become a magnificent copyist at the Abbey. Isn't that right, Bruno?
Huh. Yes.
Well,
There's no rule that prohibits an apprentice from being allowed to enter the second floor, is there?
true, there isn't.
Fabulous, brother. He's going to become an accomplished copyist. Tell me, please, what does my novice need in order to be accepted as an apprentice copyist?
Well then, he has to copy a page from a book. The first page of Hortus Tuus. Naturally, the copy must be a translation into Latin, because the original was written in Greek.
Hortus Tuus, you say?
It's a work about botany, a tract on medicinal plants.
That's a good title. Where can I get that book?
Speak with Godfrey, my assistant. He'll get it for you.
May I ask you a few questions about Anselmo?
I know what the abbot has given you to do. You can ask what you like about Anselmo.
What do you think about Anselmo? Do you have to think about that, brother?
Yes, I wanted to describe Anselmo in a single sentence, but I think it's impossible for me to do it.
I don't understand you.
Look, brother, I don't know if you know this. Perhaps you've already spoken about Anselmo with someone else from the Abbey. Doesn't matter. I'd swear on a stack of Bibles that all of them are going to tell you about his unacceptable arrogance.
What is that supposed to mean? Unacceptable.
All right. Perhaps I went too far when I described his attitude as unacceptable, but a bit of modesty would have gotten him more respect from the other brothers.
How did the attitude you're referring to manifest itself?
Oh, that! He boasted about how well-read he was. Oh, yes, he always corrected other brothers when they pronounced something wrong, or he reproached them sharply when they didn't know something like a psalm or a historical detail. Oh, do you know what I mean?
Very well.
As I said, the reprehensible thing wasn't his intention. It was the way he behaved. On the other hand, he visited the library often. He constantly tried to increase his knowledge. That's to his credit. It would be nice if the common folk had the same thirst for knowledge.
If he were perhaps granted access to the library.
What? Are you joking?
The abbot implied that Anselmo's death could have been something other than a coincidence.
He said that to me. Indeed he did.
And what's your opinion about that?
I don't know what I should say. I don't believe that one of our brothers would deliberately be out to kill a fellow brother.
That makes sense. It would be against the rules.
Yes, against all the rules. That's the point. I presume that the abbot has also mentioned something to you that you shouldn't take lightly.
Are you referring to the idea that the devil feels at home in the Abbey?
This is a serious topic, brother. We all know that evil has been wreaking havoc all over this unfortunate world since time began. But of all places, why here at this humble abbey?
Evil does not distinguish between one place and the next.
Oh, that's certainly true. But if so many wars, attacks, lootings, and rapes are taking place outside, isn't it logical that he would prefer to reign like that, and not within these walls?
A good theory.
To be honest, yet without wanting to contradict the abbot, I must tell you that I do not share his opinion.
If that's the case, what do you think about Anselmo's death?
I don't know what I should think, but it's not my task to root around in such matters. I serve our Lord by looking after the library.
What kind of material did Anselmo usually look for in the library?
Anything he could make use of. Oh, his thirst for knowledge knows no bounds. Despite his work as a gatekeeper, he constantly came to the library to study manuscripts.
Without a doubt, he was trying to undermine the hierarchy at the Abbey. Did he ask for particular titles?
No, I don't remember any particular one, though once.
Yes?
I can't recall exactly what subject it dealt with, but it still strikes me that I had to refuse his request.
Why?
How should I put it? Some books are not allowed to be lent out. That's why access to the library archives is limited to Gottfried and me.
How did Anselmo react to the refusal?
I don't remember anymore. I suppose he attached the same importance to the subject that I did. Namely, none at all. I presume he simply asked out of curiosity.
We should let Anselmo rest in peace, brother. Would you be able to give me some information about the library?
As you like.
To which works does the library owe its fame?
The library's fame basically stems not only from the work our copyists do, but also from our zeal towards collecting, archiving, and publishing a large number of books. As far as I know, you won't be able to set your eyes on a collection like this at any other abbey.
Are there really that many?
Thousands of them.
I'm impressed. Tell me something about your work.
The post carries a lot of responsibility. As you can imagine, in an abbey like this, it's one of the most important jobs. It requires a great deal of dedication and hard work to get to be a librarian. And once you get there, it means investing even more time and effort. You have to archive, catalog, restore, preserve.
I get the point. Do you like it?
Of course I do. Alongside the love of our Lord, the reading matters and studies are the two reasons I get up each day, ready to forge ahead. Ooh, I love being surrounded by books, the smell of ink, and of my brother copyists who know how to value the significance of simply bound pages. I love this work.
Tell me something about the library archives.
I assume you're not only talking about the books that can be accessed freely.
Indeed, I'm not. The abbot made a remark that some books are not accessible.
Some books? Hundreds of them!
And why is it not allowed to consult those books?
Our library holds ancient and unique as well as particularly precious works of art that might be damaged by wrongful use. It is our duty to preserve these precious works and take good care of them.
But isn't it a shame to keep them shut away like this? Wouldn't it be a noble gesture to make them accessible?
That is forbidden by the rules.
There seems doubtless every reason to be grateful for your endeavors in preserving art and objects of cultural value. I'm sure I could appreciate your efforts even more if I were granted permission to view some of those works with my own eyes. I think I've gotten the information I wanted. Thank you kindly, brother. You're surely the best one to fill me in on the rumors circulating about the library.
Rumors? Bah! You mean that gossip.
Are the rumors true?
Anselmo trumpeted that around everywhere. That is, before he died, naturally.
Do you really believe that a phantom is haunting the library?
Brother, life at our abbey doesn't offer much variety. It's normal that brothers invent stories to break up the daily routine. What I don't consider normal is that they emulate the common folk with their absurd tall tales. Tales that barely reach the level of ignorant folklore.
In other words, you don't believe them. If it's not a phantom, could we be dealing with a person?
I don't know if you're aware of this, brother, but the library is locked up each night. It is simply impossible to remain here unnoticed and move around in the library freely as one could in the cloisters in the daytime.
Someone could try to force the door?
It would be noticed the next day, and I can assure you it has never happened.
Through some window?
Through a window? Like a lizard, perhaps? Tell me, brother, who? 80-year-old brother Arcadio? Gottfried, who can't even run? Egidio, provided he's sober that day. Sure. Listen closely. No one, absolutely no one enters the library at night. I would know it. And besides, if it happened, the rules would come down on him like...
Like a censor?
Yes.
Do you know anything about your predecessor? I mean, the librarian who died here.
Do you mean the librarian who committed suicide, according to those harebrained rumors?
Wasn't that what happened?
Of course not. What soul devoted to God would do something like that? And even more so at the Abbey!
According to the rumors.
According to the Abbey's archives, if you will, our chronicles inspire more faith than foolish gossip does. My predecessor was a victim of an unfortunate accident. He burned to death.
Burned to death?
That is what is written in the archives. After having locked up the library, it seems he took such a bad fall that the oil lamp he was carrying broke. He realized that his habit had caught fire, tried to... well, you can imagine the rest.
I don't know what to think about that.
You're an educated, intelligent person. Leave the gossip aside and put your faith in what has been written.
Do you think we could change the subject?
It seems right to me. The subject is truly ridiculous.
Thank you for your time, brother. Brother,
Yes?
my acolyte was...
All right, you
don't have it yet.
You should manage it. Is he...
Good. He'll do...
I don't want any mistakes. A copyist is not only supposed to imitate, but also interpret, understand, translate. All right, and what about the quill?
Quill? You're not going to give him one?
How's that? No. Each copyist must have one of his own.
I don't doubt that, but I can see quite a few quills here. Can't he use any of them?
No. The rule says that each copyist must have his own quill.
But as far as I know, the cook is given pots and pans, too.
Brother, would you have me show you the rules that have been written down so that you can convince yourself?
No, I regret having been so insistent. Thank you for your time, brother.
Master, am I really going to become a copyist?
It looks that way. It would be better for you if you did, because if you don't make the grade, we'll never be let into the scriptorium.
I'm going to become the best copyist in our order. I'll be greater than Beatus de Labana. People are going to cry when they look at my miniatures.
Oh yes, cry they will, Bruno. I don't doubt that.
What do you mean by that?